What's going on, guys? So, due to COVID-19, the UFC 249 card has gone through so many changes. It's gone through changes like Bruce Jenner. I mean, people are falling off, people are being added on. It started with Khabib, and we all lost that super mega fight we all wanted, the fight that we've been waiting for forever, the fight that seems to be cursed. Then after that, another fight that I really wanted to see, Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas, the rematch. Unfortunately, Rose Namajunas had to pull out due to COVID-19 related issues. I think she had some deaths in her family, unfortunately. So my prayers go out to her. But most recently, Amanda Nunes came out and she said she will not be fighting on the May 9th card. She said there's just been too much of a lack of communications. She doesn't know where the fight's going to be. It's 3 weeks from now. It's just too much. And she thinks due to COVID-19 and all this stuff going on, she's just going to play it safe and stay home. But here's the interesting thing. She's not the only one that's had a lack of communication with the UFC. Justin Gaethje, the guy fighting in the main event, didn't even know that the fight was rescheduled. Here, I'll play you a clip of Justin Gaethje talking to Brett Okamoto about how the lack of communication with the UFC has been a little frustrating.
Man, it's very hard as a fighter to find out information on the internet, but that's essentially how I find out everything. I was downstairs. I had just got a sauna put in my house. I was putting it together, and I walked upstairs, and someone's like, "Did you hear that? Or did you see this?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Your fight's off." Shut the heck up. Let me call my manager. And I call him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's off." So it's like such a like emotionally as a fighter, it's very hard to cope with, because it's hard to turn it on and it's hard to turn it off. So I was really caught, in a weird predicament. I'm glad it was only 3, 4 days after they canceled it, where they re-announced it. And I also found out that I was fighting again on the internet, and so it was tough. I kind of definitely let my foot off the gas. Like when I got the call, I went 14 days straight. I didn't take a day off. I didn't take my Sunday off. So I was really feeling beat down. And so those 3 days really helped me. Ultimately, I'm not going to get my training camp, but I'm going to get more time, and I have to be thankful for that.
So Justin Gaethje found out that the fight was canceled and rescheduled both via the internet, which isn't fair towards these fighters. These fighters need to be in the loop and understand what's going on and what's happening. Now, I understand that the UFC has some trust issues with the media right now. They don't want them catching wind of anything. They don't want them knowing anything about this fight until the fight is happening and on the TV. But the fighters deserve to know what's going on because there's so much riding on it and so much they have to keep organized. Like their training camp, their training partners, their diet. There's so much that they have to keep in line that I don't even understand how the bigwigs over there at the UFC allowed this to happen. The fact that fighters like Amanda Nunes and Justin Gaethje are figuring out that they're fighting or not fighting via the internet, there's something definitely wrong there. Even after all that, despite the poor communication with the UFC, despite fighters falling off the card for whatever reasons, despite the world falling to shit with the global pandemic, killer hornets and UFOs, UFC 249, like the zombie it is still going to be going on. So now that you guys know my opinion about this card, obviously I think it's being held together by string and bubblegum, but I want it to happen. I do hope it all plays out and we get every single fight that is promised to us, but I'm not feeling too confident. But let's go ahead and hit up Brett, the B to the S and the BS show, and see what he thinks about UFC 249. Alright, Brett, so as you may know, UFC 249 has gone through so many changes. We had the main event, Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. We had Rose Namajunas that was supposed to be on it. It's just been going through a lot of chaotic changes because of this whole pandemic. And I'm just curious, this killer card that they just released, the fight that we're supposed to be watching this weekend, do you see it playing out as it should? Do you see all the fights coming to fruition, or do you see people falling off? I'm just curious.
Well, I pray to God that this fight card goes through. I mean, we've been teased with fight cards for how many weeks now, thinking they're going to come back, and then they're not, and we're going to do this, and now we're not. This is a really, really tough time for everybody, and I can only imagine, a sports organization that normally has thousands upon thousands of fans arena to watch them, and now they're cutting all that out. They're probably checking every fighter. So what is that, first of all, no one gets injured. And I hope that nobody has an underlying, COVID-19 thing that they're not aware of. And I hope that all the testing turns out. And I just hope that everybody can fight. I don't care if there's fans or no fans. I don't care if there's no coaches in the corner and it's literally the ref and the two fighter. I can see this happen. I don't foresee anything happening, but at this point, dude, the world as we know it's shut down. So who knows? We just don't know. So I'm gonna pray to the MMA gods that everyone has a healthy weight cut, that everybody is coronavirus free, and that no one gets injured tripping on cords or anything on the way to the octagon.
Yeah, here's my thought on it all. I mean, the UFC, we usually have fighters falling off the card when things are going smoothly and the world's normal, right? So I'm kind of thinking with all these loops that these guys have to jump through, I'm hoping we get there and get all the fights, but I'm not feeling too confident that everyone's going to make it to fight night, to be honest. But we will see. We're a week out, and hopefully it all does come to fruition and we get to see that amazing card, because if it does play out the way that the card looks, I mean, that's a pretty stacked card, and we're going to have a great Saturday.
Absolutely. And, the toughest point of this whole coronavirus thing is, it's like worldwide. The UFC roster is all over the world. United States, Brazil, China, Japan, everywhere. So not only is traveling going to be an issue, but traveling, bringing teams in, bringing refs in. I mean, everyone's coming from everywhere around the world. So you're right. There's so many hiccups that might have fight scheduled and come fight night C4. We just don't know. That's why I think it's a little dicey, kind of to charge as a pay-per-view during this one, because we don't know. It's almost like, hey, let's make it a free fight card so we can, no matter if there's 10 fights or 2, you guys get to see something. But, we just got to wait and see, honestly.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst. Well, there you have it, guys. There's mine and Brett's thoughts on UFC 249. I know I've been taking a pessimistic view this whole video on this card, but can you blame me? The UFC's been jerking us around lately, and I just have trust issues like Dana White right now with the media, but it is what it is. I'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. How do you feel about this card? Are you confident that we're going to get it full strength, all the fights that we were promised, or do you guys kind of feel like me, the UFC's pissing in the wind? There's bound to be something that goes wrong. I mean, it's just under weird circumstances right now. How could it not go wrong? But that's it for this one, guys. Until next time, peace.